Our first update is on Tarek Zahed, the infamous sergeant-at-arms of the Comanchero bikie club, who has been released from the Goulburn Supermax prison on the 27th of December 2024 around 6 a.m., and walks free. He saw himself entering the new year 2025 with his family. Zahed, 43, had been serving a sentence for hindering the discovery of evidence in the 2014 killing of Issa. Initially charged with murder alongside his brother Abdul, he faced the possibility of life imprisonment. However, a deal saw the charges reduced, and Zahed received a 3.5-year sentence. His time in custody was backdated to his 2022 arrest, which came as a relief to him. During his incarceration, much of it spent in the harsh isolation of Goulburn prison, Zahed faced significant physical and mental challenges. The unrelenting solitude and lack of intellectual engagement took a toll on his mental health. On multiple occasions, he applied for bail, citing serious health conditions stemming from the 2022 assassination attempt. Zahed claimed that the medical attention he received was insufficient, but all bail applications were declined, and his release became possible only after completing his parole period. Zahed's serious troubles date back to May 2022 when he survived an assassination attempt at Bodyfit Gym in Sydney, where he was shot 10 times. His brother Omar was killed in the same attack. Reports suggest that Zahed's predictable gym routine, despite police and associates warning him about threats to his life, made him an easy target in an unarmed setting. A significant bounty, possibly in the millions, had been placed on his head due to his involvement in organized crime. The attack was suspected to be linked to a wider Gangland war, with possible connections to rival factions like the Alameddin and Hamzi families. Now released, Zahed plans to relocate to Melbourne, leaving behind his troubled past in Sydney. However, it remains uncertain how this move will affect his ties to the Comanchero bikie club and his role in Australia's shifting bikie landscape. Next update is on Adam Wragg, a senior member of the Rock City chapter of the Mongols bikie club in Perth, who found himself in court facing a fine after breaching a statewide prohibition order that barred him from entering licensed venues. This ban was imposed by Western Australia Police following his release from Casuarina prison in August 2024. The prohibition was part of an ongoing effort by the authorities to restrict the bikies movement. On December 17, 2024, Wragg appeared in Mandurah Magistrates Court where he pled guilty to failing to comply with the prohibition order. The charge stemmed from an incident on September 7, 2024, when Wragg was found at Murphy's Irish pub, accompanied by his partner and 2 other bikies, all of whom were members of the Mongols. The police became aware of his violation after executing a search warrant in November, and identifying clothing that Wragg had worn on the night of the incident via CCTV footage. Adam Wragg represented himself during the hearing and defended his actions by stating that he had gone to the pub merely to enjoy a dinner and drinks with his wife. Despite his explanation, magistrates sternly advised him to avoid licensed venues in the future, warning him that further violations would result in higher fines. The fine for this offense could have reached up to $10,000, but Wragg was spared the maximum penalty, receiving a much smaller fine of $800, along with additional costs amounting to $300. Previously, he made headlines when he was involved in a high-profile shootout in 2023 that captured national attention. The violent incident unfolded in Baldivis, a typically quiet suburb, when Wragg became the target of a brazen and calculated attack orchestrated by members of the Rebels bikie club. In what resembled a scene from a Hollywood action film, a convoy of bikies roared through the streets, openly spraying bullets at Wragg in broad daylight. Caught off guard, Wragg was forced to flee for his life, taking desperate cover behind a neighbor's fence as bullets riddled nearby properties and vehicles. The sound of gunfire shattered the suburban calm, leaving residents terrified and calling emergency services. Despite the chaos and potential for significant harm, it was nothing short of miraculous that no one was injured during the shootout. The brazen attack not only highlighted the escalating violence between rival bikie factions but also underscored the growing audacity of organized crime groups in Western Australia. Following a swift investigation, police were able to track down and charge 3 rival bikies who had been directly involved in the drive-by shooting. The next update is on Nomads bikie and brothel owner Michael Issa, 34, who has been granted bail to attend a drug rehabilitation program following his arrest on charges related to extorting $100,000 from a Sydney tradie. Police claim that on August 15, Issa lured the victim to his brothel under the pretense of getting quote for some renovation work. Once there, he He and an accomplice reportedly detained the man, demanded $20,000 immediately, and gave him 2 days to pay an additional $80,000. Issa then assaulted the victim, transferred $20,000 from his bank account, and threatened him with violence if he contacted police. The victim later contacted his bank and got the transaction reversed and reported the incident to the police. After the report, police raided his Greystanes home and brothel, seizing phones and CCTV footage. At that time, Issa was already on parole for a prior extortion charge and was arrested and charged with aggravated robbery and assault. After spending 3 months in custody, Issa was released on bail by the NSW Supreme Court to attend a rehabilitation center in North Richmond. Issa is well known to police and has an extensive criminal history. In 2016, he was sentenced to 12 months in prison for fraud, fined $15,000 for multiple offenses, and ordered to pay $26,000 in compensation to 2 victims. He posed as a legitimate tradesman, using false business names despite being unlicensed. Among his victims was an elderly woman with severe health issues, whose savings for home renovations were misused, and another client who lost $11,000 before uncovering his deception. The court described his actions as egregious, noting his failure to complete promised work and persistent demands for additional funds. After serving a non-parole period of 2 months and 11 days, he was released from custody. Due to his dishonest and fraudulent actions, authorities including the Fair Trading Commissioner labeled Michael Issa as fundamentally dishonest and warned the public to avoid dealings with unlicensed builders. Next update is from Sydney, where in a dramatic turn of events, Sydney police were drawn into a high-stakes operation early Tuesday morning, involving an attempted break-in, a wild pursuit, and gunfire in the city's southwest. Around 1:30 a.m. on December 31, 2024, officers responded to reports of 2 men trying to break into a home on Caleria Close, Edensor Park. The property, which is connected to a Gangland figure, was vacant during the incident. On arrival, Fairfield City Police were informed that the suspects, believed to be armed, had fled in a Hyundai sedan. The vehicle was soon spotted on Cowpasture Road, Hinchinbrook, but when police tried to stop it, the men sped off, initiating a dangerous pursuit. As the chase escalated, the suspects fired multiple shots, striking a police car twice. Miraculously, the officer and a police dog inside escaped unharmed. The pursuit was temporarily halted due to the reckless behavior of the suspects but resumed when the vehicle was seen again on St. Andrews Road in Verraville. This time, road spikes brought the chase to a crashing end as the car veered into bushland. The 20-year-old driver was arrested at the scene and taken to Campbelltown Police Station. However, his accomplice fled into the night, sparking a massive manhunt. Tactical teams, police helicopter and armored vehicles swarmed the area, but the armed suspect remains at large. During a search of the crashed car, officers uncovered fuel canisters, 2 pistols, an assault rifle, and spent cartridges. The vehicle was seized for forensic examination. Meanwhile, Strike Force Andali has been established to probe the incident further. Police have released CCTV footage showing one of the suspects banging on the victim's door before the chaos unfolded. The man, described as of medium build and dressed in a black Nike hoodie, track pants, and gloves, is the focus of an ongoing investigation. Authorities believe that the incident appears to be gang-related, showing clear signs of an attempted gangland killing. They believe another gangland hit may have been prevented. As the SWAT team maintains its presence in Verraville, tensions in the area continue to rise. The situation remains fluid, with more developments expected. Whatever the case, we will keep you updated. If you're looking for more thrilling and edgy bikie updates, don't hesitate, whack that subscribe button, spread and share the video, hit that like button, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And for the true grid Spartans out there, consider sending a super thanks or buy us a coffee to show some love. Your support keeps us going and the channel thriving, especially since most of our videos aren't monetized due to all the crime-related content. Stay tuned, stay curious, stay awesome, and take care. Wu-Tang.